Today we're going to talk about vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. The fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. It's a derivative of cholesterol and it's a sequesteroid, which means it has this broken ring in its structure. Now, coming to the production of vitamin D, we know that our skin is most of the time exposed to the sun, and into the epidermis and dermis of our skin there is a compound called 7-dehydrocholesterol. Okay, 7-dehydrocholesterol is present within our skin. Now when these sun rays they fall on our skin, they convert this 7-dehydrocholesterol into cholecalciferol. Now, cholecalciferol is already a vitamin D, but it is an inactive form. It is an inactive form. Okay, so it needs to be activated. Now, to activate this cholecalciferol, it is transported to the liver through the blood. Cholecalciferol. Now, so the one source of cholecalciferol is through the skin. Another sources comes from the dietary sources, plant sources and animal sources. Vitamin D in the plants are known as ergocalciferol or vitamin D2, and vitamin D from the animal sources are known as cholecalciferol or vitamin D3. Now, if you see this arrow, then it indicates that later on during the process of digestion and absorption, ergocalciferol is converted to cholecalciferol. So all that left is cholecalciferol, which is now found in the liver. Okay, so cholecalciferol in the liver is acted upon by this enzyme 25-hydroxylase. Now, as the name suggests, this enzyme will add a hydroxy group at carbon number 25. Now, the new compound form is 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol. Okay, so there is a hydroxy group at carbon number 25, and this compound is also known as calcidiol. Diol. Why diol? Because there is one hydroxy group at carbon number 25 and there is already an existing hydroxy group at the structure of cholecalciferol. So 2 hydroxy group means calcidiol. This is still inactive or very less potent, so this needs to be further activated. So the 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol is transported to the kidney. Now on the kidney, or to be exact, on the proximal convoluted tubules of the kidney, this compound is acted upon by the enzyme 1-alpha hydroxylase. This enzyme will add one hydroxy group at carbon number 1 or the alpha carbon, hence the name 1-alpha hydroxylase. So now the new compound is 1,25-dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Okay, so there are 2 hydroxy group at carbon number 1 and 25, and this compound is also known as calcitriol because if you see there are now 3 hydroxy group. Okay, one at carbon number 1, another carbon number 25, another inside the cholecalciferol. So 3 hydroxy groups, so calcitriol, and this is the final product, or this is the active vitamin D. This is what does all those functions of vitamin D. Okay, now if you're wondering how these compounds, this cholecalciferol and this 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol, how are they transported through the blood, then there are 2 proteins that are mainly responsible for this. One is the albumin. Okay, these products they bind with the albumin, and another one is the DBP or the vitamin D binding protein. Okay, so these products bind with the albumin and DBP found in the blood, and they are transported to various organs. Now coming to the types of vitamin D. Now this is not really important, but just for general knowledge. Okay, so first one, the vitamin D1, it's not actually a vitamin D, but it's a chemical mixture of ergocalciferol and lumisterol. Vitamin D2 is ergocalciferol derived from ergosterol or obtained from the plant sources such as mushrooms and green vegetables. Vitamin D3 or cholecalciferol obtained from animal sources such as liver, dairy products, eggs, like that. vitamin D4, also known as 22-dihydroergocalciferol, and vitamin D5 cetocalciferol. Now coming to the function, the main function of vitamin D is to maintain calcium and phosphate level in the blood, and this ultimately helps in the bone development, because calcium and phosphate are the major ions that helps in the development of the bone. Now with this function, we can gather how the production of vitamin D is regulated. Okay, so as there is decrease in the calcium and decrease in the phosphate level in the blood, the vitamin D production should increase. Okay, so now coming to this picture again, this is the production of vitamin D. Now as you can see, there are two major enzymes that are responsible for the production of vitamin D. One is the 25-hydroxylase and another is 1-alpha-hydroxylase. Now this enzyme 25-hydroxylase is not regulated by anything. Okay, this enzyme is not regulated, whereas the enzyme 1-alpha-hydroxylase is the one which is actually regulated. So what does this mean? Okay, not regulated means if you are exposed to sun for longer period of time, then you keep on making this cholecalciferol from 7-dehydrocholecalciferol, and this product will go on to the liver and then it will get converted into 25-hydroxycholecalciferol. Since this enzyme is not regulated, so this will keep on acting. Okay, so this product will keep on producing, whereas in the kidney this enzyme 1-alpha-hydroxylase is actually regulated, so its function is under control, so it will not always form active vitamin D. Okay, so how is this enzyme regulated? Now when there is decrease in the phosphate or decrease in the calcium level, okay, so first we're going to decrease in the phosphate level. So decrease in phosphate will directly stimulate the 1-alpha-hydroxylase enzyme. Okay, so this enzyme is present in the proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron. So this enzyme is stimulated directly by decrease in phosphate level, and as this is stimulated, it will produce vitamin D. Whereas in case of calcium, the things it's slightly different. Decrease in calcium is first sensed by the parathyroid gland, and then the parathyroid gland will produce parathyroid hormone, which will now stimulate this enzyme 1-alpha-hydroxylase, and then that will ultimately lead to vitamin D production. Now the difference between calcidiol and calcitriol. Calcidiol, also known as 25-hydroxycholecalciferol, calcitriol, also known as 1,25-dihydroxycholecalciferol, it is less potent than calcitriol, whereas it is more potent, actually 1,000 times more potent than calcidiol. Calcidiol, the plasma levels reflect the stored vitamin D, because this product is actually not in use. Okay, it's an inactive form. When it is formed, most of this product is sent to adipose tissue for storage, and only some of them are transported to kidney for producing vitamin D. So these actually reflect the vitamin D level in our body, whereas the calcitriol, it reflects the active circulating form of vitamin D. In the test done for the vitamin D deficiency, calcidiol is actually tested. This because this is what, as it mentioned above, this reflects the stored vitamin D. So this is tested, whereas calcitriol, this is formed only when there is necessary of vitamin D. So this is not tested in vitamin D deficiency. Coming to the metabolism, now these both products, calcidiol and calcitriol, they are acted upon by the same enzyme called 25-hydroxylase. Okay, so and as the name suggests, this enzyme will add one hydroxy group at carbon number 24. So 25-hydroxycholecalciferol becomes 24,25-dihydroxycholecalciferol, and 1,25-dihydroxycholecalciferol becomes 1,24,25 trihydroxycholecalciferol, and these are the inactive metabolites. Okay, so these products are inactive and they are thrown out, and this whole process of inactivation or metabolism of vitamin D takes place in the kidney. Thank you.